The Joe Rogan Experience.
And I think that's the special bond hunters have with their food, their meat. I mean, specifically.
Yes.
That the guy who is aberrant, his comment.
Abhorrent.
Abhorrent. Yeah, abhorrent. Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about?
Well, he's a fool.
Yeah,
I mean, he was literally carving into a steak while he was saying that.
Right. So hunters have that connection. And I saw this video today. This is what drives me crazy, and I don't want to go back, rehash everything we've ever talked about. But I saw this video today. Who had it up? Anyway, these vegans were set up in front of this, I guess, where you get hamburgers.
Oh, that big guy bursting through the line?
Yeah. So when do hunters ever like get confrontational and violent with people who don't want to eat meat?
Right.
When does that happen?
Well, they think somehow or another by blocking this burger stand that they're changing the world. They're just trying to be activists. You know, they're trying to get a message out. And most of them will quit. They're going to quit veganism and they're going to start eating meat again because of their health.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's some ridiculous number. Google this. What number? I think they said the number of vegans and vegetarians that eat meat when they're drunk is something outrageous. It's like close to 90%.
Yeah. Well, no
but
kidding.
how many vegans wind up quitting and eating meat? I wonder if they've ever done a study on that.
This is like a big thing because, you know, there's been a movement, sort of a movement, and people have different success rates with being a vegan. But Cam Newton, who is a quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, big dude, 6'6", 250, 260, he went vegan and he cannot get healthy. He's been injured. The face of the franchise, probably $100 million contract. Made it to the Super Bowl, but since just been on a decline, and it's like almost hand in hand with the change into vegan.
Well, you know that guy, Dr. Sean Baker. He's the advocate of that carnivore diet. He marks all these people that were originally in that Game Changers documentary that James Cameron put out.
Yeah.
A shit ton of them quit before the movie came out, and they had to pull them out of the movie because they were vegan, and because of health reasons they had to quit.
Right.
It's an indoctrination movie, and it's extremely biased, and it's not focusing on all of the various problems that people have. It's only focused on the positive aspects of it and distorting the reality of those positive messages, particularly like the strong man who's on a fuckload of steroids.
They forget that part.
They forget that part.
Yeah.
And then all these other athletes, like these you're not talking, and even the strong man, he's not like an elite strong man. You're not talking about some, like when I had Robert Oberst in here, he's like, everybody eats the same shit. He's like meat and rice. Like they eat meat. Like all those strong men eat the same thing. The real strong men, the ones who actually win the competitions. What do you got, Jamie?
It's very controversial research that came out, but it's a very repeated number of 84% of vegans and vegetarians end up going back to eating meat at some level.
Yeah, right before they die.
Folks, we're omnivores. We're omnivores. We exist better. We are more healthy on an animal and vegetable diet.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to kill animals, please eat eggs, eat oysters, eat shrimp and lobsters. They're fucking heartless, soulless little monsters that live at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
But if you want to be healthy, just eating only vegetables is a fucking hard road.
Yeah.
It's a hard road. And this idea that you're going to save the world, listen, large scale agriculture is fucking terrible for the environment. It's terrible. You want to all of our agricultural, when they talk about greenhouse gases, we talked about this the other day. 9% of all greenhouse gases is because of agriculture. Less than half of that is because of meat. Less than half of that is because of beef. Elk?
Yeah.
How much is that?
Oh, man.
It's fucking zero.
Yeah.
You have if you just eat elk, you have way less impact on the greenhouse gases than you do if you're a vegetarian. And that's a fact.
Right.
If you're eating grain, not only that, you're eating grain, man, you're responsible for a fuckload of death, whether you like it or not.
For sure.
Those monstrous combines, those
rabbits,
indiscriminate
deer fawns, mice,
forget about insects.
birds. Yeah.
And then the pesticides, the displacement of wildlife. You're not supposed to have enormous fields filled with fucking corn.
Right.
And grain, wheat, and all that shit. That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
Yeah. There's definitely animals dying from that, which, But for us to live, animals are going to die.
Yeah.
No matter how you want to look at it, at some point, whether it was to build your house or build the road you use to get to work, or the fields that you eat your salad and corn and wheat from, animals are dying for us to live. That's just how it works. You cannot live on this earth and not have animals die because of that.
And I like that these people that are vegans are doing this, and they think this way because they care, because they don't want suffering. They want these animals to live.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want factory farming. I think it's terrible. It doesn't. None of that appeals to me at all. When I see chickens stuffed into cages like that, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I don't want to. I want to boycott every step of the way. When I see pigs stuffed into those cages next to each other, shitting on the floor, I don't want to have any part of that. I want to boycott all of that. Same thing with beef. Same thing with anything that's factory farmed.
Yeah,
but that's not what we're doing.
No. And there are some good cattle ranchers that have good operations.
Yes, sure.
That's not the factory farm. They're doing it right. And it's like more people are more in tune with that. Like one of my sons works at a meat shop at a grocery store, and he said people ask all the time, where's this meat from? How was it raised? So people are getting –
Yes.
And it's like supporting ethical cattle ranching. I'm all for that.
Me too.
That's awesome.
That's one of the great things about one of my sponsors is ButcherBox. And ButcherBox has a total commitment to humanely raised animals, 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, no antibiotics, no hormones ever. So they have these relationships with cattle ranchers, and they use sustainable ranching and sustainable farming. So when you're buying meat from a good source like that, you're cutting out all the stuff that I hate about farming, about factory farming.
Me too. Yeah. They're a good outfit. Well